Rob here with Gravity Realty Group. Now, before we get into this video, please take the time to like, subscribe, follow, or comment on these videos. I'd be very much appreciative of it. And plus, when you get more content like this, so it's a win-win for everybody, right? Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about 7 steps to listing your property for sale. You want to make sure you give some serious thought to these steps before listing your property so that you can get the best result for your home. Now, number 1, all right, here we are. Number 1, understand the market. You want to have a firm understanding of the current market that you'll be operating in. Is it the buyer's market? The seller's market? Classic cliche, buy low, sell high. Extremely applicable to real estate. So make sure that you are very aware of the type of market before you list your sale. Number 2, preparing your property for sale. So you want to make sure that you do any repairs, any maintenance in the home that needs to get done. You know, that job you've been doing, like you're kind of scheduled for next week, or then it's like the next week, like no. One day you'll do it. Well, if you're listing your property, that one day has arrived, okay? So make sure you do those little odd jobs and repairs that need to get done. It'll go a long way in helping your home actually sell, okay? Clean, declutter, organize. So when you're doing these things to your home and you're decluttering and you're organizing, and people are going to walk through and see that, this actually plays a psychological trick on people. Because when they're walking through a home and they can see just all your stuff all over the place, it's hard for them to visualize themselves living there. But if they walk through and it's very clean and organized and decluttered, they can start to visualize themselves living there and seeing their stuff, you know, and it just makes people more comfortable walking through the home, and it actually leads to people wanting to send an offer more compared to a property that hasn't had that preparation done to it. Okay. Number 3, curb appeal. All right. First impressions are huge in real estate. So you want to make sure that your property has a wow factor to it as soon as people pull up to look at it. So, and these are things that aren't that hard to do. Okay. Cut the grass, trim the bush, rake the leaves, any spider webs all around the house, like on exterior lighting fixtures, just clean that stuff up. One thing that you can do that is relatively cheap to do, you could either replace your front door or repaint it. Again, first impressions are massive, and when people are walking up to the home and going into it, that first door actually plays a huge part. So give things like that consideration and make sure that the curb appeal for your home is on point for when people come to look at it. Number 4, documents and disclosures. For this, we're talking about a real property report. We're talking about condo documents. You want to have these stuff prepared ahead of time. Don't wait until your property's listed and then you get an offer and then, oh, now I need to get this stuff done. Don't do that, okay? The deal will likely fall through and you're going to be kicking yourself for not doing it ahead of time. So make sure you get the correct documentation ahead of time. You'll thank me later. Disclosures, okay? This is stuff like material latent defects, okay? So a material latent defect is a defect with the home that cannot be discovered through a reasonable inspection. So this is something that you know is wrong with the property, but someone buying it doesn't know, and they won't likely be able to find that out through an inspection. So what you don't want is for them to buy the home and then all of a sudden they discover this major defect with it, because A, that's a big problem for them, B, that's a liability issue for you. So just be open, honest, transparent about your property when you're listing it, and it will actually help things to go a lot smoother compared to if you try to hide a couple things and it'll come back to bite you later, okay? So number 5 we're on now, and that's the marketing. You want to make sure the marketing for your property is on point. Professional photos, get professional photos done. Make sure you got social media. You want to make sure that your property has the correct amount of exposure on social media platforms, and the MLS, the multiple listing service, is where real estate agents list your property for sale. So all these things play a huge part in the marketing. And an open house, you know, if you're comfortable with it, and I highly advise that you have an open house. It generates a lot of traffic and it just increases the chance of you getting a strong offer on your property. Number 6, flexibility. Now, this is something that a lot of people just it slips their mind. They don't really think about. But the flexibility, so say you go through the first 5 steps, correct, and the property's listed and you're getting a lot of traction. Now people want to look at it. So you need to be prepared to leave your house for, a couple hours in any given night. If you have pets, if you have children, you need to consider these things so that your home will be available for potential buyers to walk through. So make sure that you're flexible and your home is available for people to come look at it. Now, number 7, that's the financial considerations. A huge part when you're listing your property for sale. Make sure you have a firm grasp on what the closing costs are going to be, what the legal costs are going to be, if there's going to be any discharge penalties for the mortgage. Okay, so speak to your mortgage specialist about that. And then if you're moving into a new home that you need to purchase, like, that's huge. These are massive costs that need to be considered prior to listing your home for sale. The last thing I ever want to see is someone listing their property for sale and they haven't gone through these steps and they end up with a huge headache. They end up losing a ton of money, and it just, real estate doesn't have to be that way. If you go through these 7 steps, then you can have a successful sale for your property and a process that is smooth and stress-free. So I really hope this video helped you guys. If you have any questions about any of this, feel free to contact me. I'm always here for you. Okay, catch you on the next one.